I feel like our trials and tribulations are very similar to yours.
Yeah, totally.
And you've been doing it, what, 10 years, you said?
Well,
Jenkem?
no, this is year 9, and then February 2021 will be year 10.
Okay.
So that I'm trying to like plan for that because I want to do something special for 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, me and you talked like, we need to do like a beer pong tournament or something like that.
Yeah,
that's your special thing you want to do in 2021?
This guy pulling shit out of his ass.
Big beer pong tournament.
Yeah,
that's Jenkem's big hurrah.
Yeah, 10 years of work every week. Oh, yeah, let's have a beer pong tournament. Fucking bastard.
It's the only thing he's looking forward
Most
to.
frat dudes.
This guy, I should have iced him.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have done it.
It's not too late.
But you did mention that. You did. Maybe not for
I mentioned it for like a New Year's thing. We should we'll film a beer pong thing as a joke, but definitely not for a 10-year of something.
We're not good enough for that.
Yeah. I mean, beer pong's not good enough for that. For
maybe you could
fuck that game, dude. Seriously.
Maybe you could bring the guy on acid to the Olympics.
We beat the acid stuff. Okay. Drugs aren't cool anymore. You know.
Okay. Dude, that piece was amazing though.
Thank you. Yeah, that was.
You brought a guy to Street League who was on acid.
Yeah, that one I'm proud of, and that one people come back to a lot.
Yeah.
That's when I took notice of you guys.
Thank you. I mean, I want to take a lot of credit for it, but I still ripped it off from someone else, which was Vice used to do an acid series.
Okay.
But they were kind of in the middle of changing a lot, and they were becoming much more like corporate, whatever, political machine. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just take a playbook out of your Vice 10 years ago, and I'll go do that for Street League.
Amazing.
And I mean, I don't know how much I spoke about it in the other thing. But
where'd you even meet the guy?
Well, so I'm trying to remember. We either put out, Instagram wasn't around yet, or it was very early. So we either put out a tweet or a Facebook, or just like, hey, I don't know how we phrased it. But we were like,
looking for someone that loves
hey,
acid.
looking for someone to trip or something, like the most like caveman ass shit.
Sure.
And like I'm like, yo, if we get anyone to respond to this, he's a real butt nut, you know? Like, so
is that a New York term? But
I don't know. It's like a 9-year-old term you bring back when you're 30. So someone responds, this dude named Zach, who he's a friend now, and he's a really great guy, and he's a very intelligent guy, which I didn't expect, for someone to respond to this sort of classified.
Some burnout.
Yeah. I just thought some fucking jackass was going to get on. So I meet up with, he's just like, I'm down, dude. Let me know when. I'm down. I'm like, all right, New York, whatever day, there's a Street League. We're going to do it. I'm like, do you have acid? Then I realized, I'm like,
where do we find acid?
Then I'm like, fuck, I don't have acid.
Right.
So I'm like, you got acid? He's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, I do it all the time. I'm like, all right, great. Like, okay. Let's get this going. So I tell my filmer, Richard, I'm like, all right, wait, we got this acid boy. I called him Acid Boy.
Okay.
I was like, we got Acid Boy. We're going to meet him around the block from Street League, and I'm going to pre-interview him to make sure there's no, like, I didn't know if he was a total nut job or if he had like real deal mental illness or he's okay. I didn't want it something that would be harmful. Or be harmful to him. And he goes there and it's terrible for him. Or maybe he was lying and he never did acid and it would be detrimental because it's such a powerful drug.
Yeah, of course.
So I meet him and I pretty much ask him like a doctor would. I'm like, hey, so we're cool, like mental illness. Like I say it much more delicately than that.
Right.
But like
you're stable.
I'm kind of like sussing out how stable he was.
Like you were prepared to pull the plug.
Oh yeah. This was a total everything's a coin toss we do,
Okay.
And so much stuff doesn't see the light of day. For everything you see, there's fucking X amount of things that didn't make it.
Totally.
What was something that you tried to do but didn't make it and you like wish worked?
Well, I might have to come back to that one. I want to think of a good example because every week there's stuff that gets cut.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like super epic. Oh, well, there's one. And then there's other stuff where you don't want to, like, there's one I just went on this trip for and it didn't pan out, but we're coming back to do it.
You don't want to
yeah. But it's going to be good. But,
okay.
So the acid one, so he was fine. He checked out. I brought him to the stage. He took the acid, and I'm just like, we didn't know what to do. We'd never done anything like this. I'm just like, well, let's just start filming. Just like, and so Richard Show's just like, oh, like, and then I'm sitting there like, nothing cool is happening yet, And it took a while, and we added some effects, and he started tripping out, and then it wasn't strong enough, so we're like, let's go. He's like, if I smoke weed, it'll enhance the effect. Okay. So we went, and he goes outside and smokes a bunch of weed, and then he's like, yeah. And then
starts bugging out.
Yeah, he bugs out a little bit, and it was the details were very discreet. So you had to like really zoom in on his face and kind of be like, get his profile.
Yeah. Sure.
Because it's not like he was running around, but it was good. I was proud of that piece. I think it stands up and it was fun.
Yeah.
And that, I think, we started working with Street League after that. I think that ironically opened the door.
I was going to ask if Street League actually responded to that.
So Street
Because
League,
they're all people that we know, right?
Yeah.
In Street League, pretty much.
back then it was like Street League was definitely where I was sitting. It was more taboo to work with a company like that.
Of course,
Because like Jenkem was just like fucking. I don't have no background really. I mean, I have a little bit of background in media, which I can talk about. But in terms of starting your own business, doing something, it's all made up. You know, I just went for it.
Yeah.
So we just renegated it. And so for Street League to see that and be like, oh, let's work with them was weird. And also me trying to fit, how can we work with them and not look like total sellout weirdos too?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Stay true to your brand.
yeah,
But there's a way to do stuff like
there
that.
is,
you know?
as long as you're not breaking your own morals or values.
Sure.
You know, if I was like, I never want to work with Street League and I said it here or whatever, and I believe that.
Yeah.
And then I went and did it. Yeah, it'd be a total hypocrite and I wouldn't do that.
But you could say you wouldn't never do it, but then you could do it, and then if you do it in your own way, it's totally
Yeah,
fine. People
I
wouldn't make that connection.
I
of a
agree,
hypocrite.
but I try to stick by my word.
Yeah.
Like I try to be
Never
like,
say never.
This. I try to stick to the DNA of like how we believe. There's of course a growth, but it's still the same person. You
Right.
know, I don't
Yeah.
want to flip flop too hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's just
on
it's
it.
not what I want to do either.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So what did you end up working with Street League on?
So Street League, so we had a lot of we had a couple advertisers in the beginning, but I think Street League was maybe when they came in one of our bigger ones, and so they were like, "Hey, here's this budget. What can you do for us?" And we're like, "Oh shit! Like this is not $500. You know, this
Right.
is bigger than $500, and we'll get you to all the Street League events, and." Oh yeah, if you want to interview P-Rod or pull a prank on someone,
We'll make it
I
happen,
mean,
yeah.
we're gonna kind of like not be happy about it, but we're not gonna be unhappy about it, as long as content's kind of good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would give me a budget, and then I'd be like, okay, these are the 10 things I think, and then these are the 5 kind of like coin tossy things, and they were very cool to actually work with.
Amazing.
And so I went to the events, and it was kind of stressful. Like every time I'm like, all right, what am I going to pull out of my ass? What am I going to pull out of my
Right.
ass? Because there's a certain amount of planning you can do, and then you just kind of have to make it up on the spot.
Yeah, we run into that
course.
with the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
make
do
up
like
shit
on-
all the time.
Yeah.
Even sometimes we'll just be like, what do we want to do? Be like, oh, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, yeah.
And just
And we
roll.
do, yeah.
Like, so one.
I'm more of a freestyle guy. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
I'm
But
not,
you have
like,
to
I
get
could plan.
confident and good enough to freestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
You could plan out
Yeah.
what you want to do, but
Yeah,
once
and-
you get there, boom.
And no one wanted to, like, Jenkem readers would have just been like, okay, so you're sponsored by Street League now, and then you're doing an interview with P-Rod. Like, what is this sellout shit, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
So we would just do like funny skits, and we would genuinely prank the dudes. Like one time we put pebbles on the course when someone was skating, like shit like that, and like it was awkward. Yeah. Another
Like
time,
a kitty litter, just
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
we just
God.
did it. It was like kind of a Instagram skit, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Another time, what happened? Our editor Christian went to the London Street League and he made fake drink vouchers because, like, for skaters and talent and whatever behind the scenes, they give you like 5 vouchers or whatever. So he goes and photocopies like 100, just gives them out to the homies, and like we get all free drinks, and they weren't really happy about that, but also it's great content, you know. Like at the end of the day, for me, like good content, good video, good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's trumps everything. Of
course.
If a couple of people get
And that's the shit kids would be doing anyways. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a drink thing. Like,
that's like that's skating.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. Everyone has tried to flip their bracelet around. Everyone's
Oh, yeah.
tried to do
yeah,
this.
they're like scotch taping.
Yeah.
Make a
together.
fake
Yeah.
ASR patch.
yeah, like that's the timeless shit, and that's what I love about skating. It's like those little, just like the hijinks, playfulness, you know. I mean, the act of skating has always been amazing, and the heroes in skating. But then adding all the other just stupid hijinks is like that gets me off, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the videos like Destroying America. I think that, you know, Misled Youth was just like fucking skate, and then I saw Destroying America. I'm like, oh, there's this other side too.
Yeah.
And skateboarding
There's chaos
is
over
lighting a
here.
bush on fire and running a truck through it.
Yeah.
Like that's skateboarding too.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, oh well, I want to do that stuff too. And then after a while, I just got obsessed with just hijink stuff. I'm just like, yo, light the ramp on fire and do something.
Right.
You know,
We'll worry about it later.
I don't even care about the trick. Just make the fire big enough where it looks cool from this angle. You know.
Do you think that doing that stuff with Street League put Jenkem on a different level at that point?
Well, I think because I had to figure out how to work with kind of a more
Corporate.
stringent, not stingy, kind of just a more corporate brand.
Yeah.
It made you have to be more creative.
Right.
Because if you work with like a deluxe or a skate brand, they're like, yeah, cool, do whatever.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily game breaking because it's expected.
Yeah.
You know, but with Street League, you really had to kind of think differently. And then the other people that work with them, I think like a trans world or something, it would make their coverage look way more boring. Because it's like, I'm out here throwing pebbles on the course and they're like interviewing someone else. And it's like, well, I'd rather watch the pebble guy. You know?
Yeah, of course. I would rather watch the Pebble guy.
So it was a lot of growth. But they didn't come, Street League didn't come into maybe year 4 of the business or 5.
So year 4.